Hi, and here we are again, and welcome to Real Estate with Annie. And today it brings me great pleasure to introduce John Weeks again. For those of you who don't know, John has been a mortgage broker for many years, and over 20 years, correct? Over
correct.
20 years,
Yes.
and has also won some great awards for being one of the top brokers in Australia for different banks. So congratulations with that.
Thank you, Lenny.
And today, let's talk about what's happening with interest rates. Is the Reserve Bank doing?
It's good news for borrowers because the Reserve Bank has dropped the interest rates by 0.25%, quarter of a percent, as they usually do when they drop it. This puts interest rates down around 3% for home loans. There's going to be offers there at 2.99% for fixed rates, and some variable rates will come down around 3%.
Wow.
So it's the lowest interest rates have ever been on record. So it's the cheapest you've ever seen a home loan ever, which is great news for borrowers.
Okay, because there was some talk about the banks were actually going to maybe keep the wind for themselves. So they're actually going to be giving it to the customers now.
Yes, well, they're passing on a big chunk of it, which is a good reason that you should see a finance broker, because I have lenders that will pass on the full rate. Most of the big banks aren't passing it on, but I will find the lender with the best interest rate, the lowest rate and the best deal overall. However, a big bank like Commonwealth Bank, for example, they have something like 160 billion in deposit money, and when the Reserve Bank drops the interest rate, the cash rate, basically the banks have to drop deposit rates as well as home loan rates. And considering that they have around 6 million savings account customers, if they pass on the full drop in the savings rate, that affects people that live off that interest, and you've got retirees that live off interest. So they don't like to pass on all that to the depositors. Therefore, they balance the book, and they don't like to pass on all the home loan cut. And then they have to always balance the whole business with what about the dividend payments and the retirees that live off dividend payments from the bank shares, which don't perform as well and don't pay as much dividend if they lose profit. So it's a big business to balance. So the major banks are passing on about 0.15% of the 0.25%
Awesome.
for those reasons.
Okay. So what about people's deposits? Any change in that?
They have to go down whenever the cash rate, Reserve Bank, comes down. So yes, that's the problem. So the banks are trying to keep them happy by not passing on all the big cut to the people with cash deposits. Okay? So everyone is probably unhappy because they can't look after everyone. However, the good news is they're passing on cuts for borrowers, and if you can get loan repayments that are lower than rent, it's a pretty good market to be in buying homes and borrowing money.
So it's great for the first-time home buyer then.
Yes, correct. It was already low, and it was already at a point where that the repayments are similar to rent payments anyway in a lot of areas. So the good news about first home buyers is it's going to get lower and lower too with what they're predicting, because we have a lot of economists and specialists coming out saying, look, there's going to be probably 2 more cuts. So that brings the rate maybe up to possibly 0.5% less. So then you're looking at, if that happens, 2.5% home loan rates.
Okay, so for example, if someone's watching this right now and they're thinking about buying somewhere, what if they're thinking about, well, maybe I should wait because there might be 2 more cuts along the way? Would you recommend that they wait, or? I mean, I know there's a bigger picture to look at, but I just thought I'd put that to you.
Well, it's a gamble. Nobody really knows if there is going to be in the future more cuts, but it's looking like there is. So it is taking a risk by doing that. Anything can happen with the economy. No one saw the 2008 GFC coming. So who knows, things can pick up. The Reserve Bank is trying to stimulate the economy by getting people out there spending more. So it may work quicker than they think, and therefore there may not be a need. So people can miss out too if property prices rise.
That's what I was going to say. I don't see, as an agent, I don't see property prices, especially on the Gold Coast, falling. So first-time home buyers are looking for townhouses or units. Don't think by holding out to see if there's going to be another cut, because the property price may be going up a bit more. So
I've seen that happen with people.
That's right. So don't wait for there to be another cut. If it's, you know, if you see somewhere and you want to buy. You know, that would be my advice.
Yes, and going from past experience, I remember one particular couple had a loan pre-approved, but they wanted to save a bit more deposit. I think they wanted to save 20%, but they had 15% or something. So they had enough deposit anyway. So they waited another year, and in that time, the property prices went up 50,000 because it was a rising market. And so even though they saved up a bit more, they lost about 50,000 in the price.
Yes.
Pay 50,000
So
more.
you really have to look at the bigger picture.
Exactly.
Okay.
And look, no one's got a crystal ball, but if you're in the market, then it's only a matter of time before looking at history that it's going to go up.
Okay. So how does this actually affect, like, people who are looking to refinance or?
Well, if your interest rate hasn't got a 3 in it, 3 point something.
Call you.
Yeah,
They need to call him.
Call me,
okay.
because I've got lenders 2.99, and there's going to be a lot more offers coming out because this rate this cut just happened. So all the banks are just starting to get ready to put out all their rates. And there is a lot of banks that don't have big depositors, so they can offer lower interest rate deals. They don't have to look at their whole book and say, well, we're going to look after this particular client that has deposit money, so we can't, cut their rate. And so we have lenders that if you just want a really good interest rate on your home loan and you don't really need a whole lot of other banking products, we have great home loan deals for those people. So it's a great time to switch your loan. You do the numbers, 0.5% difference in a home loan rate's thousands of dollars on the average home loan per year. So who wouldn't want to save thousands of dollars a year?
But I think what happens, the old saying, better with the devil you know than the devil you don't. And people get comfortable in doing the same thing every month, no pay. So what does it actually take? What kind of effort would they have to make? Okay, a phone call to you, what would be the process? How much paperwork is it for them to sign? How long does it take? 'Cause I think once people know what the details actually are, they'd be more likely to go ahead and do it. Because right now it's like, oh, that's all too hard to do that. And what are the fees? Because obviously to change to another bank or different rate, how much is it going to cost them and how long is it going to take? What's the process?
Well, it's a big process and there's a lot of paperwork and it's not easy, I'll be honest. However, I do all the work. So I'll take the pain out for the borrower. I'll just take out all the effort that is involved in finding the best deal, figuring out what you've got to supply.
Right, we've got a blower going on here, so they're going to take up some noise. So we'll just wrap this up quickly, but the process would be, how long will the process actually take, would you say?
About a week and a half to 2 weeks to approval. And basically a lot of it can be done by email and over the phone, and I can make sure it's a simple process. It's just a matter of sending me all the documents I ask for.
Yeah.
And then I talk to the bank. Okay, so I take all that pain out of dealing with the bank and what they want, and I'll talk to them.
Okay.
So there's no fees. I don't have a fee.
But for the banks, are they going to be penalised?
There's no application fees with the bank. There's usually an annual package fee on the home loan, which most lenders charge, but some don't. They make money out of the interest rate, so they don't really have many fees. There might be a monthly fee.
Okay. So on average, say on an 800,000, well, I guess every situation is different, but we're looking at approximately how much could somebody be saving. I mean, it's hard to say. Say you've got an 800,000, your home value is 800,000. You've got 500 on the loan, so there's...
It's going to be about 4,000 a year at least, based on 0.5%. roughly, round figures.
Well,
on
if
that.
you're going to be saving $4,000 a year and it's going to take you less than 2 weeks to sort it out, that's $4,000. That's not bad. Not many people earn that in
lot of
2
money.
weeks,
A
so
lot of money.
it's worth
It's worth checking out.
Yeah.
It's worth talking to me and getting some quotes and finding out the process, and then I'll make it a simple process as much as I can.
Well, that sounds awesome. Well, once again, John, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here today.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, look,
Thanks, Annie.
once again, I'll put your details at the bottom of this or tag it somewhere so you can all contact John. And he's been extremely busy since the last show. That's been, thank you for your support. And yes, thanks a lot. And it's bye from us now.